What is going on? Back again for another review. And this one is a little bit different. Uh, so let me get into it first because it's got a big cast actually. It is, IFC Midnight, like I said. It's Scream Factory, but also it's Gaslight Films with a Lowland production or Lowland Pictures production. Stars a whole bunch of people, like I said. It has or it's a I believe it's a directing debut of Tara Subkoff. It stars Chloe Sevigny. Again, horrible with last names. But this girl, the last thing I saw her in, I remember the only thing I hopefully she's not watching because the only thing I've seen her in was a movie that I watched when I was a kid, and it's called Kids. Very underrated, crazy movie. But last time I saw her, she was in Kids, and I didn't know she acted more. I thought that was, actually Kids had that and Rosario Dawson. She was in it as well. So she's in it. Timothy Hutton. It stars Taryn Manning, Natasha Lyonne from American Pie and Detroit Rock City and such. And then it has a whole bunch of young, up and coming Scarlets. It's got Sadie Seelert, Haley Murphy, Bridget McGarry, Blue Lindbergh, Mina One Emma Adler, among many other people as well. And that is hashtag horror. And I remember seeing the trailer for this thing, and I was like, this definitely looks different. That one, it had a whole bunch of young, like pre-teen girls, I guess you want to call it, and from the trailer, it looked, like a crazy mess kind of deal. Not saying it wasn't, but going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, the trailer definitely, had me thinking and wondering. So that's why I definitely was, wanting to. I adjusted my screen, wanting to go ahead and see it. Came out this Tuesday. So pretty much right in the beginning, you see it has a whole bunch of, visuals and camera views and pretty much it's I don't know if it's geared towards younger kids or whatever, but the whole movie kind of seemed like it would be in the mind of like a 14-year-old or 12-year-old or a teenage child, should I say. Right in the beginning, you see, not spoiling anything because it's literally right in the beginning, you see a guy and this woman, going at it, find out that this guy's cheating, and, all of a sudden this guy's in his car, he gets whacked off, but then you see definitely not the words I was wanting, but technically he was. But pretty much, he gets killed, and you're looking, and it's getting taped from almost like a cell phone camera, kind of like high, like surveillance kind of. It's very different. You gotta see it to understand. So that happens, and then fast forward to these two younger girls in the car with their parents. One with the father who I believe he's like a psychotherapist or something, and he's a little out there. She's getting dropped off, and this other little girl who's dropped off by her mother, played by Natasha Lyonne, talking about how this person that she's getting dropped off to is a rich young girl. She has a mansion, and so these two girls get dropped off one before the other, and you can just tell these. I don't know if that's how teenagers work because I haven't been a teenager in forever. I don't know if that's how they act nowadays, but you can tell they're little brats, spoiled brats. Definitely played well by these young girls. Again, I think they're going to be, some of these, if not all, might be you might see them in future, I don't know, horror movies, but definitely in movies in the future because they definitely acted well. You could tell they were, spoiled brats, rich little girls. The whole time they're sitting there making fun of each other, and then they're best friends again, and then 2 seconds later they're making fun of each other, and then they're, best friends again, and all this and all that. Until one girl, I guess, goes a little too far, and the other girls kind of kick her out. and she's in the middle of the woods crying, calling her father and such. And all of a sudden, the father comes looking for the daughter, yelling at these young girls. And then after that, he leaves, and then all hell breaks loose. So you don't know if it's, you know, because these girls start kind of getting killed off one by one by one by one. And you don't know who the killer is until the very end. And, you know, I had my suspicions and everything. But you don't know if it's the father going nuts or this and that. But the whole time that made it a little bit different than anything else I saw, which doesn't make it bad, but it was off kilter than what I thought I was going to go into kind of deal. So, a lot of the movie at points it would jump to a different screen as kind of look like one of the apps that you would have on your phone kind of deal, and it would have all these hashtags, and hashtags would pop up in the thing, and then these girls would take a picture, and at one point it said like fat girls or something. I forget exactly what it said, but it popped up with these hashtags a little bit too much. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but I could have gone without with some of it. But the whole movie was, you know, like I said, kind of like a 14-year-old mind. But then at the end, like I said, shit starts hitting the fan. And then eventually find out what's going on. And, you know, like I said, I was thrown off a little bit because it was definitely, when I saw the trailer, I expected a little bit different. But overall, like I said, too, it's different than anything I've seen before. It's definitely in its own now genre. You can't really call it, you know, like a horror comedy. You can't really call it just like a gory movie. But it's a little bit different. It's like a mind thriller, I guess, too, as well. Definitely shot differently than not shot differently, but like I said, the scenes are different than things I've seen before. So I'd say definitely go ahead and check it out. You know, if you're into, especially if you're younger, this might kind of tickle your fancy, I guess you want to call it, because again, you see like hashtags pop up here and there and all these new apps and everything on the phone and everything. But overall, I enjoyed it. A little bit different than I thought going in, but doesn't make it a bad one. So I'd say go ahead, check that out. Check The Hollow out as well. Again, if you like my reviews, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. If there's any movie you would like to, check out my Instagram, which I will post on the bottom of this, where I post my movies. If you enjoy or you see anything you might want reviewed, definitely go ahead, message me on Facebook, or I'll leave my Facebook link too, but message me on here, message me on Instagram saying, hey, listen, I see this picture. I want to know how this movie is. I'll do a review. If I have to watch it over, I'll watch it over. But definitely go ahead, like this video. Tell your friends. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe. I got something coming up tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. And then I also have a contest coming up soon, which I'll probably start tomorrow. But hopefully you enjoy this stuff. Definitely go ahead, check out #horror and The Hollow. And I'll see you guys.